Hello, welcome to another video from Alberta Bushcrafter. My name's Dean, and you guys have seen through a lot of my videos that I'm really into MOLLE pouches, or as some call PALS webbing. This is not because I'm an airsofter. This is not because I'm a shooter. I'm in Canada. We've got pretty restrictive gun laws up here. It's not because I'm paramilitary in any way. It's actually because I find the gear to be very, very versatile. And so I'm going to show you a bit on how versatile it can be and a few different ways to weave this stuff. How to attach MOLLE gear is the topic of this video. And this is where it gets interesting because I know of 4 ways to do it, not just the 2. I often talk to the guys in some of the surplus stores, and well, there's the right way and there's the wrong way. That's not the way I think it at all. So here's how it works. We're going to take a look at 4 different ways to use MOLLE webbing. Okay, first things first. Before I show you how to weave them, I'm going to tell you how to buy them. There's a lot of places you can get this gear, but look for good names. My 2 favorites are Tasmanian Tiger and Condor, because at a lot of stores, those are not the most expensive ones. There are exceptions. I've seen Tasmanian Tiger gear at wholesale sports for almost double the price of a little tactical shop down the road. But find a good place, find an airsoft place. They usually have good deals. Surplus stores, yeah, it's iffy. So check your prices online. You can find a pouch at one place for say $8-10 bucks, and go around the corner and it's 18. So you know it pays to shop around. And secondly, stick with a brand name. Like I said, my favorites are Condor and Tasmanian Tiger. I find some of the other stuff is a little overpriced. And look around, and don't settle for cheap knockoffs. I found a lot of stuff on AliExpress, very inconsistent in quality. Stitching's not great on some of them. Another tip before you start weaving this stuff is always, a little shout out here to Ammo Tactical. I love this little pistol mag pouch, mostly because of this little lanyard, which is free with a pouch. It's really cool. Plus it's adjustable, and it's a shock cord. So it's not paracord. Eventually it'll wear out, so you replace it, fine. This little tablet, you pull it right out while it's on your belt. It's just a nice little feature. And that's leading up to what I was going to say. Before you start weaving your gear, what you want to do is you want to empty the pouch, or empty it somewhat. Because you'll find it's a lot easier to weave this stuff if there's nothing in it, because they get pretty rigid when they're full. Okay, on to the first way to weave MOLLE gear. Okay, I'll ask you to pardon the train in the background a bit, but the first way, I've heard it called by different names. Some call it the quick and dirty. Some call it wrong. It's the wrong way to weave MOLLE webbing. I call it quick release. So that's very simple. Take this battle belt here. I'll get up close. You can see how this works. You got one row of straps on the belt or the pack or whatever, and you have a second row, which you can not see so well. You have a second row here on the pouch. So what they actually do is they oppose each other. They sort of interlock, so they're, one is fitting into the gaps of the other. So here's the quick way to weave it. I call it quick release, and it's not necessarily so, but all you do there is you put it through these like so, and you snug it up. Now you will see, quick and dirty actually does describe it. Oh, and we'll put this in here now. I'll just quickly put this in the pouch, see how it holds. So there goes the multi-tool. I put the tab down. You see, I've been playing with this stuff a lot, haven't you? Okay, so this is your mag pouch. In my case, it's got a Leatherman Super Tool 300 in it. You can see it likes to slide around. But the nice thing is, if you ever need it, you toss it to a friend or something, out it comes. So there's the first way. It's not the best way to weave this stuff, really, because like I said, it's not terribly secure. And if you're running and that snap comes undone, it can bounce out of there. But the funny thing is, this is actually the way a lot of people, when they're starting out, this is the most common way to attach it. Just like so. I did that for a little bit. I didn't like it because it did slide around. It actually kind of messes with your balance a bit. But again, if that's the way you want to do it, whatever floats your canoe. Okay, now here's the second way I know how to weave this stuff. And for a lot of places, that's the, you know, some people call it the bomb-proof way, or the secure way to weave it, or secure weave. Other people, they don't even bother. They just say, well, that's the right way to weave MOLLE gear. Well, okay. If you guys know me by now, you know I'm not big on ultimate or best or only anything. It's just the way I am. So I'm going to call it, you know, the standard way, or the secure weave. And it's a little more involved. You actually, with these, look it up, you have to match up. You actually figure out where this is going to go. When it was the other way, it just sort of sat there and flopped around. When it was just the simple, quick and nasty way, or quick and dirty. With this way, what you want to do, and you can do this with all pouches, see if you want it lower or higher, because you have some versatility here. I'm going to drop this down a bit. So what you do here, it's going to depend. You don't want to match up. See the way this is? You don't want to match up those two. You want to stagger them. I'm going to go low on this one. It's quite simple. You take the strap, and sometimes it's easier with ones the strap's attached, but it goes through the first hole, and I pull it all the way through. Second thing is, goes through the second hole. Once again, I pull it all the way through. Now this is where it gets interesting. Sometimes the straps are so tight, the webbing is so tight, you may need a set of needle nose pliers, but that's fine. And here's our third one. All the way through. And if you can barely see that, you can see it's locked in there pretty darn good. And then, this is always the toughest one. The fourth one. And these snaps tend to catch. So what you can often do is you can actually bend this. See how the strap's bulging out? And then in it goes. And you can see it's now come out the bottom. So this is woven right in there. And then of course that little snap, there it goes. Let's compare to the other one. Let's actually put some weight in it. Okay. All right. That is barely moving at all. One of the things you always want to do is you want to make sure you pull that last loop all the way through so it binds the whole thing together. So there it goes. That's very secure. You barely notice it's even on. And it's accessible when you need it. I'll show you again how quick you can do this. So make sure, this is my Silky Pocket Boy 170. always make sure it's empty. If you were to do this with the pouch full, it would be difficult. Take this side here because it's easier. So again, first thing, match up where you want it to go. Different manufacturers' pouches have loops in different places. You can put it high or low. I tend to wear it low. So low, you want to go through the one on the belt or pack first. And in this case, I'm weaving two. So right there, there's two. Right. See them there. Okay. Next thing, and these straps can be quite stiff. So I may have to put it down here. Yeah. Number two, through the webbing on the pouch. And now you're going to see this gets very, very tight. Third one, it's a little tough to do. You can also get your finger in there, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So the third one comes through and pull it tight. Remember, always pull it tight. It's like sewing. Now the fourth one, which is going to be a real challenge. Okay. Yeah, you can see what a challenge it is, because here we go. Right here, and push it up and pull them tight. And then sometimes they'll have a little wraparound snap like this one, as you can see, right there. Sometimes they'll be on the pouch itself. So that one, you just snap them in, and make sure you hear them snap. Why they call them snaps. So there we go. You now have your saw on the pouch. These pouches are great too. This is just a M4 case. Actually, I think it's an M14 magazine holder. And yeah, it works great. Holds 170s real nice. So 7-inch saws. So there is way number two. And that's, that's pretty well where most people stop. That's the right way or the wrong way. I don't agree with that. There's more coming up. Okay. Now the third way of weaving webbing on a MOLLE pouch is, it actually doesn't involve hooking it up to the webbing on a pack or a belt at all. So let's have a quick look. I'm going to use this other Tasmanian tiger pouch, mostly because I like them. But here we go. Take a look at the back here. You'll see we have two pieces of webbing. Here, all right? I'll stick my finger through them so you can see them. That's on your standard pistol mag pouch. Normally, if you flip it over like this, you now have about a 3.5, 4-inch belt loop, which you can use it if you're okay with that. But watch what happens. I'll stick it on the nylon part of the belt. This is a 1.25-inch belt. You'll find that it really likes to wobble around. I'm not a fan of that. So here's the trick. The third way I like to weave MOLLE webbing if you don't have a pack or anything like that. As you see, you keep the top one and you go through the bottom one. And then snap it in. This now gives you a lot less. Let's do that better. This now gives you a lot less room in that belt loop. And find that it doesn't bounce around. It bounces around a bit, but not much. So that's acceptable for most people. It will slide around in your belt, but keep it within your belt loops on your pants and you'll be okay. I'll show you again This one. It's my Pocket Boy 130. And again, 2 sets of webbing. So over the top, under the bottom one for both. Do I have to cut? I hope not. Pardon the train, folks. So anyways, here we go. And that's actually an even tighter loop. I'll do it the other way so you can see it. That's actually a little tighter. And that doesn't bounce around too much at all. So is what I call the third way, which is the belt loop weave for MOLLE gear. It's not ideal, but it actually does work fairly well. Okay, I'm going to apologize for the train in the background. I had to cut for a second. It can get very loud even with this lavalier mic. So the fourth way that I know of, there may be others, but the fourth way I know of to weave MOLLE webbing is not for attaching it to anything at all. See, the interesting thing is these pouches, it's kind of counterintuitive here, but these pouches actually just make great pouches too, for putting stuff inside your pack, for keeping stuff organized. They don't have to be attached to things. So one of the things people will do is they'll just snap them on, right? But you'll see there's a lot of strap hanging out there. I've actually had a case where I pulled an axe out of my pack, just a small camp axe, and I had 2 of these around the handle as I pulled it up. More of an inconvenience than anything else. But yeah, I like to get the straps out of the way. One of the ways some people get the straps out of the way is they cut them off. Well, now you need some other kind of strap. You can buy individual straps if you want. Usually come in packs of 4 or 2, depending. They also make aftermarket ones, as in, well, MOLLE lock. They're a little more flexible. They're made of plastic. They lock differently, and they stay very secure. So your quick release is out. But I'm just not one for cutting off the straps on any pouch. Not after I paid 10 to 30 bucks for one of them. So what I like to do is this. I'll show you the handcuff case here, which has got a pocket chainsaw in it that I'll probably demonstrate but rarely ever use. So you see what I've done is you weave them in the back. You weave them under the loops, and they really keep those straps out of the way. So that's very simple to show you how to do that. Once again, you might want to stick your finger up in there, right? You want to see that? And stick it under both. Lock it down. Because I have 2 straps, I will show you again. Under both, snap it in. You'd be surprised how that doesn't snag on very much at all. So it's good. I've actually had a case once where I was in a rush to get out the door. I hadn't figured out my loadout at all. So I just tossed this in the side pocket of my pack, and it worked great. So that's the fourth way to weave MOLLE webbing is, I don't know, we'll call it the utility pouch weave. Because yeah, all it does is it turns this into a regular pouch. So I hope you like that one. So, as you can see, there's a lot of different ways to weave this stuff. And there's not a right way or a wrong way, it's just whatever works for you. If you want it to stay secure and you're not going to be removing this pouch very much at all, use the over and under weave. If you are, and that's really on there good. If you are, just do the quick release one. They're quick and dirty. you just want to use a pouch, you've seen this one. If you just want a belt loop, you've seen this one. So that's 4 different ways to weave MOLLE gear. Now I'm not going to get into that's with what you've got to work with. So that's with what is on the pouch itself, or with what you get. And that's not spending 15 bucks for a pair of MOLLE locks. Yes, you heard that right. That's just the basics. You can get more stuff, you can get all kinds of stuff. I've got a philosophy where I just work with what I've got and do my best. And in this case, hey, my best is good enough. So again, several different ways. I hope this has been informative. I hope it helps you guys out. I hope it means you guys will actually buy, you know, I hope it'll get some folks that are turned off from tactical gear. I hope it'll get them to change their mind, because this is really great, useful stuff. And it's lighter than wax canvas in a lot of cases. Certainly lighter than leather in a lot of cases. And just a lot more versatile. So that's about it for this topic. This has been another Alberta Bushcrafter video. My name is Dean. I want to thank you very much for watching. Take care and good day.